Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I did a tutorial on the last video I posted, which is about the drafting of this particular top. In this video, you're going to be learning how to properly arrange it and stitch it perfectly. If this seems like what you're interested in, you might want to hit that subscribe button so we can begin. Alright guys, in the last video I made, I talked about how to draft and properly cut your patterns. Today I've already gone ahead to cut it out on fabric, and as you can see on my work table, I added half an inch all over the places. So I cut out 2 pieces for the middle, which is number 1, and the others are 4 pieces each, which means 2 for lining piece and 2 for the main fabric. So the next step I'm going to take right now is to work on the cups and the middle part. So I'll be bringing one of these cups together this way. I'm going to match it one after the other, then I'll head over to the machine to stitch it in the middle just like this by half of an inch, and then I will do the same thing for the rest. For the middle part, I'll stitch it above here and then below here. Then I'll also go ahead and attach my hairstay to both sides of it. I'll also be attaching my hairstay to the cups. So this is the middle part. I've gone ahead to attach my hairstay. Purpose of adding the hairstay is to give my fabric some strength. I made a bra cup using my wadding. I cut out exactly what I have on the pattern for the wadding. So what I have here are the double piece for my bra cup. I'm going to join this together with a zigzag stitch machine, and then I'll head over to work on the bustier. So guys, here is the middle piece which I'll be attaching on my bustier pattern. I've gone ahead to stitch it below and above it. So I cut out the excess threads, and then I'll go ahead to notch it on both sides. This is what it will look like after turning it on the right side. So I'll go ahead and press it nicely with an iron, stitch this part together and also stitch the lower part. So for the cups, this is what it looks like after I was done stitching them together. So I'll go ahead right now and just turn it out on the wrong side and then notch it properly before ironing it out. So guys, these are the bra cups I generated from my wadding. So I've gone ahead to stitch them together with my zigzag stitch on the machine, and this is how it looks like on the inside. I know you can't see the white thread, but at least you can spot the black threads I use in joining them together. So I'll just go ahead and iron this part on my pattern. So I'll place them this way with the wrong sides facing each other and go ahead and thoroughly iron it. But before doing so, I'll go ahead and ensure that the seam lines are matching with each other. The seam line on the pattern and the seam line on the bra cup are matching with each other. So I'll be inserting my hemming gum to give it a strong hold just in case the gum there is not working. So this is what it looks like after I was done with the cups and the middle part. The next thing I did was stop stitching this part out top and then beneath it this way, because I'm going to be inserting my boning here. So example of what I want to illustrate is this kind of boning. So as you can see, there is a tiny stitch there I just made. This will form as a channel for this boning. I'm only going to insert the boning only here, only on this part and not the other side. So this is going to give us the look of what we have on the picture. This is going to serve as a keyhole. Then I'll go ahead and just stitch it and make sure I take in the necessary sewing allowance there. So guys, as you can see on the work table, I've already gone ahead to iron out my cups, and then I used my hairstay to secure the seams in place for the lining part. And then for the main fabric, I already inserted my bra cup and then I ironed it out thoroughly, and then I had this look. See how beautiful it's looking already. So the next thing I'll do right now is just to stitch the middle part to hold these bra cups together. So to do this, you go ahead and just place this part this way. Let me show you something. So here is the pattern I used to generate this middle piece. As you can see, everything equals to what I achieved after I'm done stitching it. The sewing allowance is there for us to use and stitch the cups together. So go ahead and place the middle piece and this cup like this. Ensure that the bra cup stays out of the way when placing these 2 pieces together. So just stitch very close to the bra cup but not on the bra cup itself, okay? Just avoid stitching directly on top of it, and then leave about half of an inch above the pattern this way. And then all you need to do right now is just to secure it in place with your pins before stitching them on the machine. After you're done pinning them together, this is what it will look like, and then you need to go ahead right now and stitch it with the 1/2 inch you are seeing right there. And after stitching it, next thing you do is to place your lining piece right side to right side with your bra cup this way, and then stitch it by half of an inch up to the extent where you stopped in your first stitch. Okay, so guys, this is what I had after I was done stitching everything together. As you can see on the inside, I already went ahead to notch it. So the next thing I did right now, as you can see, is just to attach my boning into the channel I created. So I closed this side all through and then left this side halfway open because I want to insert my boning. So I'll be taking the measurement of 4 inches for the boning I want to insert here. So I'll pull it out and cut it according to the measurement I have. And afterwards, I'll go ahead and smoothen the both sides to avoid puncturing. I'll go ahead right now and insert it after I am done. This is how it's going to look after everything. Then I'll close up the remaining part of the cup and then stop at this part where I marked my chalk line. So this is the seam line that runs in the middle, and the chalk line is 1 inch away from the seam line. Alright guys, this is how it looks like after I was done with the boning technique and the bra cup technique. So what I have left is just to go ahead and close the upper part. I also went ahead to notch all what I did, the seams I did for the cups, to give it more flexibility. And I also did the same thing on the other side as well. As for the part that goes to the underbust, I left about 1 inch gap there. So I'm just going to notch this part open, and then I'll do the same thing to the other side as well. So if you don't understand, I need you to be patient to see what I am doing. It's very simple and easy to achieve. All you need to do is just place your scissors immediately after the stitches you made, and then just notch it not too deep so that you can be able to turn it inside out. So guys, this is what I had after I was done with the notches. As you can see, it's a little bit different from what we used to have. This is the part where we will be attaching our lower bodies. So I'll go ahead right now and just close the upper part this way. Just go ahead and bring one cup in between this part like this, and then stitch it by half of an inch from this part all the way to the top. So you need to do the exact same thing for the other cup as well. Alright guys, after I was done stitching the upper part, you can see that I have excess threads running from the sides. I also did top stitching in between the cups, as you can see, so I brought it closer for you to see. So just go ahead and stitch it this way and then this way and stop at this part. So I left about 1 inch in between the stitches and the seam line here. Next thing I will go ahead and do right now is to insert my boning. The length of the boning I need is 5 inches. I will go ahead and cut out 5 inches for each channel I created on the cup. After I was done cutting and smoothing the edges on the boning, I went ahead to insert it into the channels I created. This can be a very difficult thing to achieve because the space there is about 0.25 inches and just about the size of the boning, so it's going to take a lot of pressure to fix it in and also make it stand out. You just have to take your time and do it gradually. Alright guys, this is how it looks like after I was done inserting all the bonings in between the cups in the middle. So what is left right now is to attach the lower piece. Here's my lower piece. I'm going to be removing this pattern and set it aside, and then I'll be able to arrange it this way. I'll be stitching from this part down to the middle like this. So I'll just go ahead right now and place my pattern paper this way, and I'll use my chalk line to mark a spot right here. This signifies that there is allowance there, so I'll go ahead right now and notch it while I do the same thing on the other part as well. After I was done with that, the next thing I did was to place my main fabric together this way, right side to right side, facing each other with the bra cup, and then I just pin it all the way around to the middle like this. I'm going to be stitching it by 0.5 inch. So guys, after you're done, this is what it will look like. So I'll go ahead right now and stitch it on the machine like this by half of an inch all the way to this part. I'll be stopping here. So after I am done, I'll be doing the same thing on the other side as well. So guys, this is what I had after I was done stitching. I also went ahead to notch all the stitches I made all around the corners to the middle like this, just as you see me pointing. So guys, the next step to do right now is just to go ahead and line it up with the lining piece. I'm going to be turning this over on the wrong side this way, and then I'll be placing my lining piece this way above it in the same way and direction I stitched the other ones. So I'll go ahead right now and pin it all the way down with my pins. So what I am basically doing here is pinning the bustier in between the patterns. So that way, after we are done stitching, you will not be seeing any stitches around. It's going to be hiding inside. This is what it will look like after you're done stitching them. So go ahead and run a stitch all the way to that point, following the same line of stitch you did in the first ones. I'll also do the same thing on the other side. And this is what I had after I was done. You can see that our top is coming together in one piece. This is how beautiful and neat it looks on the inside. So the next thing left to do right now is just to go ahead and work on this part. You can see I pinned them together and I have some excesses there. That will be enabling us to attach our loops. So I just pinned them together to have it as one piece. I also went ahead to notch it after I was done and I pressed them thoroughly. This is how it looks like on the inner seams. So guys, the next thing to do is to stitch the lower part just like we are hemming it, but since there is a lining piece for it, I'm going to be flipping it over this way, then stitch the lower parts together. So just grab the both ends of the lining piece and the main fabric and place them like this, making sure that the rest of the top is in between them, and then stitch it all the way to the other side. I'll do that off camera and get back to you. This is what I had after I was done stitching the lower part. As you can see, it's all closed and looking very nice and beautiful. I also didn't forget to notch it. So we are going to be inserting our regline boning here on this part I am folding. So just go ahead and fold it by 1/2 inch inwards. I'll be marking a chalk line here to serve as a guide, so I'll have a little space in the middle after I am done. The chalk line will be extended on the allowance so I can have a straight line there. After that, I can begin to fold it inwards. I'll fold it precisely to stop at the line I drew. And then I will go ahead and do the same thing on the other side as well. So guys, this is what it looks like after I was done folding in 1/2 inch on both sides of the allowance. I also went ahead to stitch and close the sides so it will serve as one piece. Now I'll be working on this middle part by fixing the regline boning for the button and the one for the loop. This is the regline boning I intend fixing here. I'm going to be inserting it inside the fabric. So I measured what I have here, and I have 6.5 inches for the length, and then for the opposite side as well I have the same measurement. Then I went ahead to measure the length I had for each boning and cut them up. So I'll select one of the boning I wish to use to create the loop, while the other one is going to serve as a button holder. Alright guys, I made a tiny spaghetti strap for the loop, and I'm going to trim them and cut them off by 2 inches before using it to create the loop on the boning. If you want to see how I made that, I already have a video on my channel on how to create and achieve this loop, so I'll go ahead and drop the link on the screen. So this is what I had after I was done stitching. The only difference here and that video I dropped the link is just that I separated the loops individually on the boning. So I already went ahead to fix one of the boning without loops for the buttons. So I'll demonstrate how to do it. Go ahead and insert it in between those parts where there's an opening. So make sure it fits into there and not too small, neither is it too big. Hence, that is the reason for the measurement we took earlier. So I'll go ahead right now and run a stitch to close the white boning. I don't want it to be showing. So I ran a double stitch to seal the boning completely, leaving just the loops to be peeking out. Alright guys, now it's time to fix the back. So I brought out my back piece and set the pattern aside. The next thing I'll be doing right now is just to place it this way. I'll go ahead and fold the allowances I had underneath it for the hemming like this. I'll be folding it double, and then at the top I'll be folding it double. Now after I was done, this is what I had. I'm going to be inserting my invisible zipper on one side of the top like this, and then the other side is going to be stitched completely, while here is going to have a basting stitch for now. So I'll go ahead and work towards attaching the sleeves. Meanwhile, this is how the back side looks like. So guys, for the sleeve part, I'll go ahead right now and just fold the top of the sleeve this way by 1/2 inch. I'll be folding it twice, and then I'll go ahead and pin it together. As for the elastic, I'm going to be cutting half of my shoulder measurement, and then for the wrist part, I'll be making a gathered stitch here to fit into the cuff of the sleeve. So guys, I've already gone ahead to pin the folds I made at the top of the sleeve. This is going to be the part where we'll be passing our elastic. So I'll go ahead and do that off camera and fix the lower part. Now this is what I had after I was done stitching the elastic and the cuff for the sleeves. I also did the same thing for the second sleeve. So now we are going to be attaching this on our top using the remaining part of the sleeve that we have not stitched, and then the elastic part stays on top of our shoulder. I will also be stitching the sides of the sleeve off camera. So guys, this is how my top looks like after I was done, and as you can see, I've also rounded up on my sleeves. The only thing left is to hand stitch my buttons, and we are through with this tutorial. Remember to subscribe, like and share. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.